Oh my God, November was just insane in the stock market. The US elections really made everything come alive, and stocks and crypto were skyrocketing left and right. It's just crazy how this all works, all based on future estimates. Think about it, it's not a fact that Trump will do anything, but just by investors expecting something to happen, it reflects on the market. And as a result, S&P 500 hit the all-time highs again. And for me, it's just crazy how something as rational as finance is so heavily influenced by feelings and psychology. So we're just thinking ahead, whereas we're not sure what's going to happen, but this is what we think is going to happen. So that must be the right price right now. But anyway, all that had a really positive impact on my portfolio, and I also bought more ETFs and sold some crypto. I'll share everything in this video. Hello finance people, my name is Robert and I'm here to share with you my learnings and experience about personal finance as a European. So let's jump into my portfolio tracker and I'll explain the situation. And by the way, you can download this portfolio tracker, the link is in the description, just first one there. Let's first take a look at my stocks, and right now I only have two stocks left. That's Nokia and Microsoft. They did okay, nothing crazy. Nokia went down and Microsoft went a little bit up, but I used to have a bit more of these stocks, but I sold quite a lot in the past couple months, so that's why there's not much to report here. But I'm basically down by 100 euros here. But let's take a look at ETFs, because that got a bit more exciting, because first of all, I've added a new ETF here. This is a new one. It still follows the S&P 500, but in this case it's accumulating, and it's actually this one, iShares Core S&P 500, and it's accumulating. So now instead of paying me the dividends, it's just gonna reinvest them, because all the other stocks I have here, or at least the VUSA, which is I have the biggest portion of my portfolio, basically this one pays out the dividends. And I've noticed throughout the years that I actually don't care about getting the dividends, and in some countries actually you get taxed on the dividends immediately, so it probably is better to just go with accumulating anyway. So I'm kind of switching to that one, and now I'm gonna start buying this ETF. I did buy twice this month just because I saw there was a dip at some point, so I actually bought at the dip, and then I bought again as part of my recurring investments, which happens at the end of the month on 28. So now I have about 3 shares of this specific ETF. But if we take a look at the overall result, it's just insane. These are broad index funds, which rose by 7.5%. That's 3,000 euros just in November. If we look at SP 500, you could say, okay, here, you know, this is the rise. If we take a look at the max time, you look at it and like, oh my God, we are at the all-time highs. Should I still keep buying this? But here's the thing, whenever I have this question, because it always arises, you know, you're like, okay, is this a smart strategy where, you know, it's never been this high? Will it correct itself and things like that? But what I want to show you, it's a small trick that kind of calms me down. If you scroll down here and you use the Yahoo one, so just click on the result from Yahoo, we're gonna take a look at something with the graph that changes the perspective. So here, just scroll down and click on this icon. So it's gonna open up this graph bigger. It's like the advanced graph. And here, if you click on settings, you're able to choose the scale. Right now it's linear, and we can also choose logarithmic. So let's do that and see how this graph changes. Now, so logarithmic scale, what does it mean? Well, here, notice how the scale here is actually, it gets shrunken as you go higher and higher. And why does it happen? Because you see this is 1,000, and from 1,000 to 2,000 is this distance. However, from 2,000 to 3,000, you would think, oh, that's you know, same 1,000, but actually the distance is less. Why? Well, actually, if you go from 1,000 to 2,000, that's 100% increase. If you go from 2,000 to 3,000, it's only 50% increase. So you see, if you would combine 4,000, from 2,000 to 4,000, this distance is same as this distance here, because it's every time when it doubles, that's how it counts the space there. Whereas in a normal graph, it just goes up exponentially, or at least that's how it seems, because from 1,000 to 2,000, this is the distance, but notice how this only increases by 50%. However, the distance is the same. So it looks like we're actually having exponential growth. However, if you look at logarithmic, it is much more controlled. You can see that this kind of growth has happened for ages already. So this is not abnormal growth. Yes, we have sometimes crazy growth spurts like after COVID or during COVID. That's basically is not normal. But then 2008 crash, you see that this is not normal. So you do see some variations here, but in general, we're not growing at a faster pace than maybe you would think we are. It's just that the graphs we're using, they're a little bit sensational, let's say. It just looks like this is like a hockey stick, right? And that makes me stressed when I see this hockey stick, because it's like, oh, at what point it crashes? And if it crashes, it must be really bad. That's why when looking at long time periods, not just a year, but 5 to 10 years, then use this logarithmic graph just to see what's the rate we're actually growing. And speaking of ETFs, I've started a newsletter where I share my thoughts about investing and personal finance from a European perspective. If you want to receive the weekly newsletter, just sign up. The link will be in the description. So next, let's take a look at crypto. And crypto has been crazy. Right now, I have only 2 crypto left, but I actually sold my Bitcoin. So Bitcoin this month, if we take a look, I made a profit on it. This is the profit of about 7,500 euros, just because I bought it at 30,000 and now I sold it when it was 84,000. So I almost tripled my money. So some might have said like, okay, you should have just waited. It went higher than that. Actually, it's now at 90,000, I think, euros, whereas I sold it at 84. So I definitely missed out on some. But then again, in my head, I'd rather take out some of the profits than maximize everything, because 7,500 euros for my portfolio, that's more than a year of profits, like a 10% profit. So this is a lot of profit within just short time. So that's why I took it out. If there's a chance to get back into the market, if there's a dip in Bitcoin price, I will get back to it. But right now I just took it out, and at least I don't have a stake in it anymore. But if we look at the other ones, all of a sudden the Ripple grew like crazy. So it grew by 260% just within November. I think there was some news about it being used for something in the government, blah, blah, blah. I'm not such an expert on this crypto, so I don't remember exactly what was it, but that's what drove the increase. And then the Binance coin also grew a little bit. So the crypto has been on fire right now. So if you're keeping any crypto, this is a good time to just enjoy the ride, I guess. I also have peer-to-peer lending, but I'm gonna skip it today just because it's nothing really happened there. So I think we have already enough things happening this month. So let's take a look at my portfolio overall, and you can see it's just been all in the green, whereas I made 4,500, a bit more than 4,500 just in November. And remember, this is not even the money that I already took out as part of Bitcoin. This is the assets that are still in the market. This is how much November has produced. That's 8.5%. This is the best month I ever had. It's insane. And these are the days you want to be in the market, because if you miss these ones, they have such a big impact on your portfolio. That's why many experts say time in the market beats timing the market. So right now, if you just catch these waves, you can make a nice profit on it. Obviously, it's not guaranteed, and maybe in a couple of weeks we're gonna have a huge crash. I don't know, but right now I'm just being thankful that this happened and enjoying the profits from it. Now, despite all the bull runs, we live in uncertain times. So I got worried about, what if my broker goes bankrupt? What would happen to my money? That's why I created this video right here, where I talk about protections you have if the Giro, Interactive Brokers, or eToro go bankrupt.